Welcome to another video. Today we will explore Socrates, his method, belief, views on knowledge and ethics. Let's start with an introduction to Socrates. Socrates was one of the most influential philosophers in Western history, even though he never wrote a single book. Born in Athens around 469 BCE, Socrates lived during a time of great political and cultural change in ancient Greece. Unlike the sophists who taught rhetoric and charged fee, Socrates spent his life questioning people in public places, seeking truth rather than profit. He is often considered the father of Western philosophy because he shifted the focus of philosophy from the study of nature to the study of human life, especially ethics, knowledge, and virtue. Socrates believed that understanding how to live a good life was far more important than understanding the physical world. Interestingly, everything we know about Socrates comes from his students, especially Plato and Xenophon. Through their writing, Socrates appeared as a man deeply committed to truth, even at the cost of his own life. In 399 BCE, he was sentenced to death by the Athenian court on charges on corrupting the youth and impiety. Instead of escaping, he accepted his fate calmly, demonstrating his commitment to his principle. Now let's know about the Socrates method. One of the Socrates' greatest contribution is what we now call the Socrates method, a unique way of questioning that aims to uncover truth. Rather than giving direct answer, Socrates would ask a series of questions to expose contradiction in a person's thinking. This method is also known as Elenchus or cross-examination. For example, if someone claimed to know what justice is, Socrates would ask them to define it. Then, through further questioning, he would reveal inconsistencies in their definition. The goal was not to embarrass people, but to guide them towards deeper understanding. Socrates believed that many people think they know something, but actually do not. His method helped individuals recognize their ignorance, which is the first step towards true knowledge. This is why Socrates famously said, "I know that I know nothing." This statement is not a sign of weakness, but of intellectual humility. By admitting ignorance, one opens the path to genuine learning. The Socrates method is still widely used today, especially in education, law, and philosophy, because it encourages critical thinking and self-reflection rather than passive acceptance. Let's dive into beliefs of Socrates. Socrates held several powerful and sometimes controversial beliefs that set him apart from others of his time. First, he believed that the unexamined life is not worth living. For Socrates, self-reflection and philosophical inquiry are essential for a meaningful life. Without questioning our belief and action, we live blindly. Second, he believed in the importance of the soul over the body. Socrates argued that caring for the soul by cultivating wisdom and virtue is far more important than pursuing wealth, power, or physical pleasure. Third, Socrates believed that truth and morality are objective. Unlike the sophists, who often argue that truth is relative, Socrates maintained that there are universal truths, especially concerning justice and goodness. He also believed in divine inner voice, often called him daimonion, which guided him by warning him against wrong action. This suggests that Socrates saw morality as deeply connected to a higher, possibly divine order. Now let's explore what is knowledge according to Socrates. For Socrates, knowledge is not just information. It is deeply connected to self-awareness and truth. He believed that true knowledge comes from within. This idea is sometimes called the theory of recollection. Especially in Plato's interpretation, according to this view, learning is not acquiring new information but uncovering truth that the soul already knew. Socrates also made an important distinction between knowledge and opinion. Many people operate an opinion which can be false or inconsistent. True knowledge, however, is certain and justified. One of his key ideas is that recognizing one's ignorance is the beginning of wisdom. When people think they know everything, they stop learning. But when they admit their ignorance, they become open to inquiry and growth. Thus, for Socrates, knowledge is a moral and intellectual journey, a continuous process of questioning, examining, and refining one's understanding. Let's talk about ethics of Socrates. Socrates' ethics is centered on the idea that virtue is knowledge. Socrates believed that if a person truly knows what is good, they will act accordingly. In other words, wrongdoing is not a result of evil intention, but of ignorance. People do bad things because they do not truly understand what is good. This leads to another important idea. No one does wrong willingly. If someone acts unjustly, it is because they lack knowledge of justice. For Socrates, the highest goal of life is to achieve eudaimonia, often translated as happiness or flourishing. But this is not about pleasure or wealth. It is about living a virtuous life guided by wisdom. He emphasized virtues like justice, courage, and self-control. These are not just external behavior, but expression of inner knowledge and harmony. Socrates also believed that it is better to suffer injustice than to commit it. This radical idea reflects his deep commitment to morality. Even when he was unjustly sentenced to death, he refused to escape, because doing so would violate the law of Athens and his own principle. In conclusion, Socrates remained a timeless figure because his ideas challenge us to think deeply about our lives. His method of questioning, his belief in the importance of self-knowledge, and his ethical teaching continue to influence philosophy, education, and everyday thinking. More than just a philosopher, Socrates was a seeker of truth who lived and died by his principle. His life reminded us that the pursuit of wisdom is not easy, but it is essential for a meaningful and ethical life. Thank you. If you are still watching, I hope you are finding this content useful. Please like and share this video, subscribe to the channel and share your thought in the comment. Your support motivates me to create even more content like this.